Hi. Welcome. Hi, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome to 5-Star Readings with Maddie and Debbie. Debbie and Maddie. Debbie will be with us shortly. But how are you guys doing? Let's see. Hello, hello. Who we got in here today? Let me know in the comments. This is 5-Star Readings with Debbie and Maddie. So we don't do any legal. We don't do any medical. We don't include questions that have personal information of other people other than yourself. So we randomly pick and select people to answer their questions. And then at the very end of the show, we do yes or no rapid answers. So there is everybody. We've got Amantha. Hi, Amantha. Hi, Sylvie. Hi, Carlos. How are you guys doing? Hope you're having a lovely day today. Happy Thursday. Happy April. Happy almost spring. Debbie will be with us shortly. It's a lovely, lovely day today. I am doing fabulous. Thank you, Amantha. Thank you for asking. And Carlos as well. I'm doing fabulous. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, wait, hold on one second. There was... I wanted to get this out. It is finally, I mean, San Diego, it's always like a nice, decent temperature, right? But it's finally getting like hot here. I don't know about you guys. Let's see. Give me just a second. Okay, lovely. Amantha says hello. Hi. Sylvie says hello. Hi. I already answered all these, Carlos. I am doing great once again. Thank you. Thank you for sharing the show. Yeah, share the show, you guys, and like it. Hit the thumbs up. It's very important. It's a great way. If you like our show and want to see us grow, let the algorithm know by hitting the thumbs up. Let's see. I'm trying to get different lighting in here. That's a little better. Okay. Sylvie, may I get a general? Yes, I'll get right to you. Amantha, I'm great. We already answered that. Thank you for sharing the show, Sylvie. Hi, Kim. How are you? Hope you're having a lovely day today. Debbie will be here shortly, you guys. All right, well, let's just get it started. Let's get it popping. Where we go? Sylvie Bennett. Hi, Sylvie. I'm going to get a general reading for you. Ooh. I feel like that was supposed to come out, so we're just going to put that. That's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I want you guys in the comments, let me know what's your favorite season? Mine personally is spring, so it's coming upon my favorite season. What is your favorite season? Or if you don't, I guess like if you don't necessarily like the season per se, but you have like a favorite time of the year, you know, then say that. Wow, you guys, it's so funny. You guys answered spring, fall, summer, winter, all 4. That was, I love it. Kim, yours is spring. Mine too, Kim. Amantha says fall. I think fall is very pretty, but you know, once again, in San Diego, it does not change at all. So the fall is really pretty back east and in the Midwest, especially. Summer, love the summer, and winter. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the winter. I think snow's great. To visit. Like, you know, if I wanted to, in the wintertime, I could drive from the beach to the mountains where there's snow and see it, see it all, and then go back home and not have to deal with all that. So that's, winter is living in the snow, terrible, I think. So much work and it's freezing and oh my gosh, just all that crazy. Carlos says fall as well. Oh, Kim, you love Christmas time? Me too. The end of the year is nice. And Max Molman, hi, how are you doing? I'm doing great. How are you doing? I was doing a, let's see, where did it go? A general reading for Sylvie. You guys, please like the show. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. Smash that like button. Thank you. Amantha says, in Texas, it doesn't either change for fall, is what she's referring to. But back home in Kansas, we have 4 seasons. Yeah. Oh, back home in Kansas. Okay, Dorothy. No, I'm kidding. No, but I can say this. Oh, wait. Actually, I have a really funny story about Kansas real quick. So when I was memorizing the capitals, like back in elementary school, the way my mom was like helping me, this is like back when I was a very young kid, my mom was helping me remember the capitals, and she would say like these little rhymes to help me remember. And it always stuck with me, Kansas, is for some reason, because it was so funny. And it's just ridiculous. But my mom would be like, okay, Topeka, Kansas. And she's like, because it's so flat that if I wanted Topeka at you, all I had to do is stand on my toes or stand on a rock. And I just like started laughing so hard, but like I never forgot that. And so anyway, it's stupid, but I know the capital of Kansas. All righty, Sylvie, let's see. Oh, 5 of Wands and 5 of Swords. All right, Sylvie. Well, in general, okay. Okay. Well, I'm just going to say, I don't know how your relationship or your maybe you're married is going, but it seems as if this is saying that there's an issue that's been happening or that's happened. And every relationship has their ups and downs and their problems, right? But it looks as if this is something that has accumulated over time and has come to or will be coming to a head. You're very torn over something. There's a lot of resentment as well. I see this in a partnership, so that's where I say relationship. Now, there's the possibility here of some sort of somebody being unfaithful. If you've had some suspicion about that, that might be your gut trying to tell you something. Something about a meeting or a meetup here. And that's really hurt it's really hurt it's really hurt you, essentially. It's really hurt the relationship. It's really hurt. And I'm just, this is direct. So usually readings don't come out so direct, but this is just very direct. I'll just show you. The Knight of, we've got the 5 of Wands and the 5 of Swords right here. 5 of Wands is internal conflict. 5 of Swords is external conflict, resentment. the Two of Cups, which is a partnership, relationship. The Knight of Cups, that's romance or dating. The Three of Swords, that's heartbreak. The Empress, that's, you know, a woman. But also it means beauty creation. But paired with these cards, I'm just seeing like there's the possibility that some sort of date with maybe has happened and you are suspicious about it. But if that's not the case, then that's not the case, and I sure hope it's not. But because this could also mean, let me try and frame it this way. This could also mean that you're seeking more to be closer with your partner, but you feel like you guys are butting heads a lot. You don't feel as if you are supported. You feel like you kind of want to bring that spark back, and it's not. You just don't seem to have that. I mean, that teammate, that partner there to put in the effort with you. It takes two, right? To that's not the saying. It takes two to tango is talking about fighting, but it takes two putting in effort for things to transpire. Because if one person's doing all the work, I mean, you get burnt out so quickly that way. So I'm going to look at it. I'm going to spin it that way and see. I hope that's the message here and not the other one. Okay. But always go with your gut. Okay. Just word of advice. Ultimately, I see you knowing what to do. So while it is stressful, while it is overwhelming, while it is something that you may not want to deal with, it's unpleasant, you do know what you need to do. And you are, at your core, a quite independent person. Not in a way that you like push others away and don't like want involvement, but you are you're able to, handle your business and get it done and get done what you need to get done. So I don't have any doubt that you're going to be able to move through and past and forward. Move through this, past the challenge, past the obstacle, and move forward. Okay. Let me pull some inner guidance messages here. It says self-love, guidance, willingness, connection. Okay, I'm almost positive now with these cards that it is what I said, the positive way, not the infidelity or the not unfaithful. So I'm pretty sure it's not that. I'm more certain now that this is a matter of just trials and tribulations of any couple, any relationship. Over the years, it sours. It gets to a point, especially if there's been a period of time where both of you have not, or maybe both of you never really learned how to, show up for each other. And over the years, it just kind of goes dead. If there's a plant in your garden and you're not watering it, the plant is dying, right? So relationships are the same way. And I think this is a matter of you feeling like you want that stronger connection. You want to feel heard, respected, loved, and you want that partnership. And you feel like it's kind of ran its course, if you will. You guys just get on each other's nerves. You don't really communicate. And it's just, that happens. That happens. Here's the way you get back. First of all, it takes willingness from both parties. It takes both of you making an effort. So setting an intention is important, and communicating that intention, going into conversations or anything really, setting the intention of, my intention here is to connect with you, is to not only feel heard, but also have you know that I'm hearing you, is to understand, is to, you know, rekindle something, you know, whatever you need to say. But that goes a long way, is setting that intention and communicating it to the other person, and also getting them to set what their intention is. Because if you're going into it blindly, it's like a lot of the times we don't even tell ourselves we don't even like consciously know what our goal is. But, you know, we'll go into something angry, we'll say these things, and it's like, okay, well, what was your intention there? Or were you just blindly emotionally reacting? Because if your intention there, like, was to get closer to the person, you're not going to accomplish it by doing all that. That's definitely not the way. And you know that when you think of it logically, right? But, you know, our emotions make us blind to that sometimes. So anyway, I want to share an interesting, so John Gottman, he's a psychologist, and he founded the Gottman Institute, but he did a study, and it's overwhelming, the results that he got. But he was able to, after studying groups and thousands of people, find that there's just one thing that determines if a couple stays together or if they don't. And he was able to predict a couple's longevity with 93% accuracy, by only watching each of them for 20 minutes interact with each other. That's impressive. 93% accuracy, whether or not those people will be together in 15 years down the road, just by watching them for 20 minutes, because there's only one thing that matters, and it's called bids for connection. We all make them. We constantly make them, to our friends, to our peers, to our acquaintances, to our partners, everyone. We make bids for connection. Anytime you bring something up, just randomly saying it, or just kind of, oh, I'm just saying, you know, just commenting on that, that's a bid for connection. It's an attempt to get that other person to interact in some way and show. And when the other partner responds positively to your bid for connection, that's it. So there could be fights, there could be all these things happening, but are you guys responding to each other's bids for connection positively? That's what keeps people together. Because doing so, oh, look, your husband's looking down and he comments on a car driving. I'm just making stuff up, but it's like he comments on a car going down the road. He's like, wow, look at that engine. And you're just so sick of him talking about all these cars, because he just like has been so neglectful to, you know, all the things you've been asking and trying to talk to him, and you just like don't care about the car at all, like, right? And you're just like, and after you were an ass to me like this morning, like, you think I'm gonna, like, so you just kind of, or maybe even say something, you're like, I don't care about the car or whatever. It's like that over time, that's what erodes things. So it's either a negative response or a lack of response to a bid for connection. So too many of those erodes everything away. But positive responses to those sorts of things are what keep people together for the long term. And it's as simple as that, right? It's not simple, but so yeah, maybe set intentions, try to communicate, talk to each other, not at each other. Remember, you're on the same team, and it's you two against the problem. So there's a dynamic built between two people. Two people come in, you bring your energy, they bring their energy, you interact, and there's this dynamic that's born, right? So the problems that exist within that dynamic, whether or not one person brought it or the other, you know, you may perceive that it's the other person and whatever, but that doesn't do any good in a relationship, because you guys are a union, right? So in the dynamic, problems exist. So your problems are their problems, and their problems are your problems. And if that's not the case, well, then that's an issue, right? I remember one of the best things I heard was it was like this person in therapy, and they're like, okay, and the guy's like, oh, she always has a problem with everything. She's always got a problem. And it's like, when are you not going to have a problem? And then the therapist responds and says, well, I think the problem is that you never have a problem with her having a problem. So something to think about. It's a group issue. It's a collective issue. And you need to tackle the problem together, because you are not the problem. He is not the problem. The problem's the problem. And you two are the team that can work to resolve it through compromise and communication, and through positive response to bids of connection, right? Okay, but so hopefully that helped. I wanted to pull a crystal card to close your reading out. And I see your message. You said, thank goodness. Yeah, no, I'm so sorry about that. I was just, that's like just the straight up meaning of the cards, and it made me think of that, but I wasn't really getting that energetically. So that's why in the beginning of that's why I was like so hesitant to say it in the beginning, because I was like, I don't feel like that's the message. But so yeah, but that's not the message. So that's why I didn't feel like that. Let's see. Okay, you said fall out with my sister. Okay. Yeah, I could be assuming it's your husband. It could be, I mean, really here it's just a close relationship. Two of Cups means a very close partnership, relationship, someone that you hold dearly. So your sister could definitely apply. And that's probably why the Empress is here. That makes sense. Yeah. But heliotrope. So heliotrope, I could tell you all about it before, without even having to read this card. But heliotrope's the bloodstone, and it's a protective stone. I actually have a pretty nice sized piece of it, and I love it. It's very pretty. It's like a dark greenish gray with like orange speckles. But anyway, so heliotrope, also known as bloodstone, like its namesake, can cleanse negative energy in the blood. By doing this, it grounds any anger or resentment, there's that resentment again, in your heart and blood. It throws a calming effect on your heart when you are feeling irritated or impatient. Okay? So everything I said applies to every relationship. It doesn't necessarily have to be taken down the path of a romantic, seen in the light of in the framework of a romantic relationship. That's just how people are. So like friends, same thing. If you're not responding positively to each other's bits of connection, you're probably not going to be that good of friends. You're probably not going to get along that very well. There's going to be resentment that builds. There's going to be miscommunications, and there's going to be a fallout, right? So, I mean, sister applies as well. So ultimately, the message here is, you know what you need to do. So, call in that strength, ground yourself, and take care of business. Okay, Sylvie, that's all I have for you, and I hope it helps. Okay. All right, everybody, let's see. Carlos asks if I did any spring cleaning. Not yet. No. I'm always cleaning though. So, I mean, messes never stop, right? That's how it feels, at least. I feel like cleaning's just like a continual job, and of like a continual effort that just, there's always something to clean. Let's see, hold on. Heather Johnson says, may I have a general, please? Yes, you may. Yes, you may. Okay. I wonder where Debbie's at. I'm texting her. I want to see Debbie and her sweater. We got these, like, you know, 5-star readings with Debbie and Matty sweaters, so I haven't seen her in hers yet. Fresh Panda says, hi, Matty. Hi. Hope you're well. Okay. Heather Johnson. Let's see. I'm going to use a different deck. General reading for Heather Johnson. I'm going to use the Kitten Chops deck. My little kitten chops. Shuffling. Okay. Heather Johnson, in general. You guys, please like the show. Hit the thumbs up. Very appreciated. And also, if you have a yes or no question, just, you know, keep in mind that at the end of the show, we do a rapid answer, yes, no. Just boom, 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 boom. So, and if you've already gotten a reading, you can still, you know, submit a yes, no question. Okay, so Heather Johnson, first card that came out here, 4 of Wands. The Hanged Man. Judgment. Ace of Swords. And the 2 of Cups is what you don't see coming. Heather, I have a question. Are you currently single? Or are you in a relationship? I think you are single, but or if you might be in a situationship. I don't know. No, in a relationship. Okay. Is this person okay, it's questionable. How long have you been with this person? Peace. You got peace. 18 years. Wow. That's impressive. It's impressive. Okay, well then this is not about that. So let's see. Congratulations on 18 years. That's really awesome. But that's going to make me read this totally differently. So let's see. Hold on. Okay, I'm just going to pull some clarifiers real quick. I want clarification on this. Opal? Sorry. Nine of Cups. Okay, so this is interesting. There's some sort of like like reunion or gathering or some sort of like celebration that I see you have like a lot of maybe anxiety about this, or maybe it's Maybe there's like an event coming up that you're really nervous about, right? But I see that you're kind of, have you ever heard the saying, you're your own worst critic? So that could be a lot of the issue here. There could be just compounded, how do you say, doubt due to your own self-limiting thoughts or beliefs. I feel like you are somewhat soft-spoken because you don't want to you don't want to like rock the boat or get what's the word? You don't want to kind of upset or ruffle any feathers. So you kind of just stay quiet, and it's at your own expense sometimes. I do see that there's a lot of anxiety surrounding an event that you maybe there's going to be someone there you don't want to see. Maybe there's something that you just you're like, oh, if I see them, I how can I see this person without saying this thing or talking about this thing? But I don't want to talk about that thing because I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to make it all. I don't want to I don't want to do that, right? I don't want to have to face that situation. I mean, maybe that's what this is. This energy is really hard to read. I'm going to be honest. I'm having a little difficulty getting what this message is here, but so help me out by either. Is this resonating with you? Ultimately, though, I just see that it is a perception in some way that you are. It's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, where like the best example is like a person who doesn't believe in themselves as like talented or whatever probably wouldn't submit probably wouldn't get on stage in front of a panel of judges and perform in a talent show, and then especially wouldn't do it confidently where where those judges would see their talent and then choose them. So, and then the fallacy of thought that happens thereafter, where if they did try and they didn't give it their all because they weren't confident, that obviously they didn't get picked because like they're not talented, right? So it's this projection of this thought that trickles down into everything thereafter, creating that reality. That's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So I think it's in what movie is it? Dumbo? I don't know if it's Dumbo, this is in Dumbo, if this is in real life. This is true, but I think it's actually in real life. They tie elephants as babies to like little trees, or like to little like trees, right? And they can't move them, or they can't get off because they're small at that time. But the elephant gets so used to this, and that when they're older, all they have to do is tie them to a little like post that the elephant could easily, with all its strength, pulled out of the ground, or like get off a break. But they don't try it because they were conditioned from the jump, and they already think they can't get off of it, they can't move it, so they don't even try. That's another example, right? So I mean, we humans do this all the time with so many things. We believe something, we then project it, we're not aware of our projection, and then we realize that reality by way of just thinking of it. So anyway, you said yes, full of anxiety all the time and soft-spoken. Okay, well, I understand. I used to have the same issue, actually. you got to take up space. You got to speak up. You got to understand that what you have to say matters, how you feel matters, and how other people feel about that. You know, they're just going to have to deal with it sometimes because you have to deal with it, right? For other people. Like, it's more than just other, you know, you can take up space. That's the easy way to say that. Either way, I think you just need some time for reflection because the thing you don't see coming here is the Two of Cups, but you said you're in a relationship for 18 years. And so what this just tells me is just underlying all of it is you have a good support system. That's really nice. I see that. And then in the clarifying cards, that really came out as well. So the Six of Cups is a like a soulful connection. The Two of Wands is communication. The Nine of Cups is one's desires coming true. So I think what you need to there's a big event happening. I don't know if it's like a thing a goal you're working toward or some sort of like maybe you're nervous about being involved in something in some sort of presentation. I don't know, but it's all in your head. And I actually see you need to let go of something in order, and then lean on the support system that you have in order to stand in your truth and realize your full potential, because that's what this is right here. Ace of Swords. Sorry, you can't really see that. So the sword represents it's knowledge, it's intellect, it's voice, like vocalizing, right? Vocalizing thoughts. And then look, the brain, you can't really see, but like there's a brain coming out of this. Like that's her brain. So I know it's a really weird card, but and then the sun is happiness, right? And it's like there's the sword up to the sun and everything. And this person's holding a big old like pentacle diamond thing. Anyway, what this is saying is to obtain to see your desires manifest, to obtain the reality you want, and to achieve your goals, you need to stand in your truth. You need to do so confidently. You need to speak your mind. And that's going to require a lot of reflection on this like anxiety, this like closed space that you've created for yourself. And I don't want to say like that sounds crazy that you've created it for yourself. Your environment and your experiences have created this chain of thought process that then constructs this very closed off soft-spoken person, right? So you need to like understand that you have the power to change that. You really do. There's a lot you need to let go of here. And I'm sorry that this is just kind of spotty because I'm having trouble reading this one. I'm always honest, so I won't ever, that's one thing. I won't ever give you a BS reading. Like I will tell you like, hey, I'm not getting anything. So that's what's coming out here. And I hope it resonated in some way. And I really hope it helped. Okay. Alrighty, guys. Let's see. Well, I wonder where Debbie is. I don't know. I don't know if she's coming. So that's okay though. But let's see. What else we got? Oh, Summer again. Hey. It's hot Sylvie Bennett Summer. Okay, I had Amanda. Where is it? Amanda wanted a general. Where is it? Oh, yeah, here we go. Amanda. All I know is that I'm going to have to make these into shirts. I'm going to make shirts because it's kind of hot, and this jacket is like, but I really wanted to wear it because like it's our new jacket. So, but I'm kind of hot right now. So, and it's going to only get hotter. So I need to make me some shirts or some tank tops. I'll make Debbie some too of shirts. All right, Amantha, a general for Amantha. General for Amantha. General for Amantha. What's that tune? What's that tune I was just singing? Oh, from Blue's Clues. I can't get it. I can't sing the song. I might get, sued on YouTube because they're copyright freaking. Anyway, copyright mafia on YouTube. Let's see. Amantha, we've got the King of Swords. Heather says, I understand. I haven't seen you unable to speak. Yeah. That's all I was getting. So I'm glad you understood, and that it was at least in some way helpful, hopefully. All right, King of Swords. 10 of Cups. The Star. Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords, okay. Queen of Pentacles. Okay, Amantha, I'm going to say this. You went through a very emotionally turbulent, tough time, and this had to do with like a love, and it was like really dark for a while. Maybe you're on the up and up again. Things are looking good. You're feeling better about something. And you feel like you're really like putting your foot down about something. You're really like making, you're like, we've reached an understanding, or this issue's in the past, or like I've made it clear, and I feel good about this, right? But I see something. I don't know exactly what, but I see something coming in and just kind of popping the buttons off and undoing that. And that's really unfortunate. I don't like that, but I do see this kind of cyclical spiral, or how do you say? It's like it's back to square one. And that's just really disheartening for you, because over time, that sort of thing, it's like, all this transpired, right? And then like you think you reach an understanding, and then it goes boop. And it's like that just like blows trust out. Like the possibility, the possibility of there being any trust just blows it out the window, right? Like it just blows, gone. And it only gets harder and harder and harder from there. And now I'm not saying that this is gonna like, everything's gonna crash and burn for you. I'm not saying that, but I am saying this. There's something you're doing to you're not protecting yourself in the ways you need to. You may be making a continuous choice, and you're doing it because because of this like this love that you have. But I want to say that I don't know if anyone's ever like said this to you, but the they always say relationships are hard. There's trials and tribulations, like there's ups and downs, and there's, you know, everyone has their problems, and this, that, and the other. That doesn't include some of the things that I know you've dealt with. That's not included in that. That's not like, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to just say this lightly, I guess, but it's like somebody repeatedly disrespecting and violating you, violating your trust. I mean, that's not part of the, that's not that's not par for the course. And you don't have to accept that. You shouldn't accept that. Because what does that do for you when you do, and then that person does that again, or does something similar, or just like, I mean, you literally feel ashamed, right? It makes you feel, for lack of a better word, stupid. You're not stupid, but it makes you feel that way. You feel taken for a fool, and you look down upon yourself. I'm not laughing at you. What I'm saying it's like, I mean, that's what it does. That's how it makes a person feel. How could you not? When you, what are the word? What are the what's the saying? It's like, if you fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I don't really agree with that saying, because that saying implies that, you know, people are one chance and done, and it's like, that's just not reasonable or realistic. People, in fact, do change. People do put in work and effort to make amends. If you're just one and done with everybody and never giving anybody the room to grow, I mean, that just is not conducive with how life in general and growth and learning works. So I just don't like that statement. It's very I don't think you should ever, I think it's a mistake to look at your willingness to try and forgive and to make amends and to heal, looking at that as a weakness. I think that's, you shouldn't do. I think that's actually a very important strength to highlight, but you should also be aware of the dangers of that strength when you are not wielding it in a way that is beneficial or productive for you. Because there is a way that you know, it can be misused, that strength, just like any other, like I don't know, a gun can be misused, right? And it can cause a lot of damage. So like, you can misuse the strength of like easily being able to try again and forgive and having that big heart, right? You could cause a lot of damage to yourself by doing that to the wrong people who aren't valuing that. And like I said, the certain things are just, they're not par for the course. You know what I mean? I think you know exactly what I mean. I don't have to like say it anymore. What you do with that information is up to you. But I do see, unfortunately, I see some sort of betrayal coming, and I think you know why. I think the more important question here is why. What about it keeps you drawn in and coming back? Because, you know, if you say it's love, I just, you know, your heart doesn't want you to hurt. Your heart doesn't want you to hurt. Are you listening to your heart, or do you have yourself convinced in your mind? There's a big difference. Your mind, you don't call T-Mobile to get information about your Verizon bill. So you don't resolve matters of the heart or sorry, yeah, the heart with like, you know, these narratives in the mind. If it was love, you wouldn't continually be hurting yourself in ways that feel irreparable at the time. And your heart definitely does not want you to go through that. So maybe it's a matter of the mind that has been, in a way, deceiving you. Bronzite is your crystal here. That's all I'm going to leave you with because I feel like you understand. But bronzite is the crystal here. The main power of this stone is restoring harmony, peace, and bringing balance to your spiritual being. Bronzite washes away the past and motivates you to start planning a brighter future. Bronzite breaks down psychic static, stopping you from moving on. I think that's very relevant to what I was saying. Amantha, I want you to know that it's the first steps that are the hardest, and it's going to feel like, if you do just say, hey, you know what? Maybe I do have maybe I do have a self-confidence issue. Maybe I do have a attachment issue. Maybe I do have a fear of moving on because maybe I don't feel like I'm going to, you know, maybe I am afraid of being alone, whatever it is. Well, first of all, that admitting it and looking at it that way is, and owning it, that's so powerful. And then also taking action and choosing you, because how many times have you chose someone else over you and it left you feeling like crap? How many times? Like countless, I'm sure. So when you even if it's something unpleasant and you don't want to go through it and you don't want to like deal with it, when you, in the future, like down the line, you'll look back on it and you'll go, I feel proud of that I chose myself. I chose my well-being. It like hurt really bad in the time, but stop handing your power away to others that don't know how to value it. And also, like, sorry, I'm going to be honest, don't really like have an intention of valuing it. They're just appeasing you and want to telling you what you want to hear, and continue. You know, one time maybe is a mistake. I don't believe it is, but 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, that's not a mistake. That person does not respect you and they're manipulating you. And you only you teach people how to treat you by setting boundaries and sticking to them. And the more you don't do that, the more you teach people with what they can get away with. Okay? Just keep that in mind. All right, guys. Hi, Michelle Harris. Hi, Tylene Powell. Let's see. It is about our time, but I would like to do rapid yes no questions. So if you're in here and you have a yes no question, please submit your yes no. I'm rapidly going to answer yes or no questions because we are at the end of the show. So if you have a yes no question, please submit it now. Nobody's got a yes no? Will the report I'm submitting pass, please? Will my lights be connected again? And my son just passed away. I'm so sorry to hear that, Tylene. Oh my gosh, I'm very sorry. Okay, give me a second. Where is my crystal? Okay. Pulling out the pendulum. Okay, what do we got here? Tylene Powell. For is he still with us, Tylene? It's saying yes. It's wobbling a lot though. That doesn't mean anything specifically, but it is saying yes. Let's see. For Presh Panday, will my lights be connected again? Presh, it's saying yes. Michelle Harris, will the report I'm submitting pass? Will the report I'm submitting pass? A lot of hesitancy there. It was saying yes. It stopped, wiggled, said no, and then started wiggling again. And yes, I'm going to say barely. I'm going to take that as a barely. It passes, or maybe there's like some sort of like interim type. I'm not sure what report it is or what it means, but what that even means. But I'm going to say this. Maybe there's like a oh, you're barely there, and then like you're given a chance to like change something or to like have some sort of additional thing that like where you can bring it all the way to where you need it, or it's like a barely, but then also a yes at the same time, and it does move into that. I hope that makes sense to you, because again, I have no idea what the context of it is. But let's see. Anybody else got yes or no real quick? Yes or no? All right, you guys. Well, I really appreciate all of you. For those of you that are here right now, for those of you that were here, for those of you that will come in and watch this later, I appreciate all of you. We're here every Thursday. Well, Debbie's usually with me, but I don't know where she is today, but that's okay. We're going to be here again on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is 5-Star Readings with Debbie and Matty. I really appreciate all of you, and I will see you next week. All right. Bye.